Welcome to Sunday Scaries Super Wild Card Edition, or whatever they're calling it. And yes, I know it's not Sunday, it's Tuesday, but for some reason the NFL can't just have a normal playoff weekend like it used to be. They have to let it bleed into Monday. And Lord knows that game last night was really, really late.
I swear, games during the week are the worst. They're the absolute worst.
And we could have done it at halftime because nothing changed. However, I didn't trust Dallas.
No, no, I don't think at all. And the way any of these games have gone, I don't think you can trust. You couldn't have trusted anybody.
Yeah, that's fair.
The way things have gone, so it's like you almost had to sit through like halfway through the third quarter, and you were like, "All right, I think maybe," but no. Games are just rough on during the week. Absolutely rough.
So speaking of Dallas, it would not be very nice of me to ask, "How are you doing, sir?"
Oh, I'm fine. Hey, I'm fine. Like I'll be honest, I'm fine. Like I didn't think we were gonna win. Like, of course, as a fan, you're like, yeah, but I think you have to take your fandom out and also kind of be a realist. And I don't think not as many people do it as they should. All of a sudden, Brady and Evans hooked up against Carolina. Whoop-de-doo, it was Carolina. Like, let's be realistic here. You pulled out in overtime in Arizona. Like, there was nothing there. Now, if they had put up 30 plus points in the last 4 games prior, then yeah, all right, I'm all about it. Okay, then it's there, but it wasn't there. The offensive line is putrid. They can't run the ball. I don't care who you are and who you have at quarterback. If you can't run the ball, you're not going to win.
No.
Playoff Lenny has 5 carries for 12 yards. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and that's been their problem. That was their problem the entire season.
Exactly. So, for Dallas fans, hooray! Yeah, you finally won a road game since Troy Aikman back when I was in high school. Hooray for you! But now you're going to San Fran, and it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. You're not stopping San Francisco.
No, if they got off to the start they did against Tampa, if they get off to that same start against San Francisco, they're going to be down by 30 really quick.
Yeah, like, let's be realistic. The weapons that San Fran has, that offensive line is ridiculous. That defense is just straight scary. No, like, I think they'll probably let them hang around for better sake. And then the second half is just going to be a demolition. Like I said, hooray, Dallas. All the power to you. But no, your ride ends here.
Yeah. Yeah, and there wasn't too much to really speak of. I mean, I don't even think. I mean, typically at this point, it's just stat accumulation. Even if he loses, Brady breaks some kind of record in the playoffs. But I don't think he really did, other than breaking that red zone streak.
Yeah, there was really nothing else. Dallas was 0-7 against him until last night. There's really nothing there. It was just adding on to whatever records he already had.
Yeah.
So there was nothing spectacular except for that red zone. And what was funny is they threw that graphic all up on the screen, and I said, "Here we go." I said, "Watch." And lo and behold, there it is.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, I knew they weren't going to win. Like, they don't have it this year. They didn't have it. Now it's the questions of where's Brady going to go? Already supposedly 3 teams have contacted him. The Twitterverse is running rampant saying that, Leftwich is going to get fired. And rumors are going around that, they were looking to maybe get rid of him second half of the season, but Bowles didn't want to. But we all can see how Bowles coaches, it's the playoffs, 4th and 3. Let's be realistic here. You got to leave it out on the field. No, I'm going to trust my defense. And we saw what happened.
I mean, if you're going to get fired at the end of the season, I guess you really don't care about having the classification of, or you probably shouldn't care about having classification as the coach who traded Tom Brady at midseason, whether he's 40 or 25. Doesn't
Yeah.
really matter.
But you would figure, Leftwich is like, I could be playing for my job, because don't forget, a year or two ago, he was a hot commodity and he almost went to the Jags, but the Jags pulled out the last minute and
Yeah.
they're probably blessing themselves saying thank you
Yeah,
that they
right.
did.
Trevor
At that
Lawrence
point,
would have turned into a Jets type of QB.
and at that point, Trevor Lawrence is working at Waffle House. Let's be realistic. He's working at Waffle House. So I don't know. I think they're really going to look at it. I think they're going to beg Tom to stay. They're going to say, what do you want? We will try to give it to you, but I don't know. But yeah, like I said, Dallas, hats off to him. All of a sudden, Dak is, what he was supposed to be. So now we'll see it in San Fran. If he can beat San Fran, then okay, all bets are off.
Right. We'll talk a little bit more about Tom's future to wrap up the show later. But as far as Dallas is concerned, their defense was vaulted all year. You were big on their defense way early in the season. So did you see enough out of that unit last night to think that this team is still the Dallas that we got high on throughout most of the season?
No, as compared to San Fran, no. I think San Fran actually got better. Dallas is kind of nicked up. Parsons was, kind of, limping around second half. And I can't because they played a bad Tampa team. Now, if this was Tampa of 2 years ago during the Super Bowl season, then I'm high on them. But Tampa wasn't good. I can't sit there and say, yeah, this is it.
You shut them down, sure. Yeah.
Exactly. Like Tampa wasn't good. So now this is the test. Is Brock Purdy gonna be the guy? Like everyone's gonna say, well, he's a rookie. I don't know if he can handle that Dallas defense. He's not gonna have to. Shanahan is gonna put him in a position where he doesn't have to be the guy. He hasn't had to be the guy. He's got the weapons all around him. I don't know if Dallas can do it. And the problem is Dallas really didn't run the ball that well either yesterday. It's just that Tampa ran it worse.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. Zeke was. I don't know what Zeke was. No, I think he was horrible.
Zeke will get you those third and ones, but I don't know how much else.
Yeah, that's all it was. Exactly. Pollard was pedestrian at best. So no, I don't have faith in that defense. I think that defense has kind of regressed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They're nicked up a bit. I don't know if they have the pieces to hang with all the weapons San Fran has.
Yeah. And speaking of teams that have a lot of hype and potential, but didn't necessarily look their best on Wildcard Weekend, we got two that just happened to be smashing into each other in the divisional round. And that's, of course, Cincinnati and Buffalo, the rematch of the DeMar Hamlin game. And the Bills got off to a hot start against Miami, ran up the score a little bit, and then they let them back in it. They managed to hold on. Cincinnati, they got off to a little bit more of a rough start. Baltimore got out on them hot, had a lead at halftime. Cincinnati fought back. Baltimore kept going. Bing, 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 bing. Eventually, Cincinnati winds up closing it out, probably breathing a sigh of relief, but ultimately it's probably just a matter of being healthy and having more talent at the end of the day.
So, yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Which one of these two teams didn't look as bad?
I'm going to say Buffalo. I'm going to say Buffalo because Buffalo put points on the board. Let's be honest. Now, yeah, Buffalo let Miami in. Now, third string quarterback like that guy, God bless him. Guy tried his best, but if you watch that game, there were open reads all over the place. He just missed. He wasn't ready. Let's be realistic. If Teddy had played, I think Miami might have pulled it off.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is, hindsight. But Buffalo was able to score. Cincinnati since I know it was a divisional game, they hate each other.
And they just played each other.
Exactly. That adds to it, but that was rough. That was rough. It really was. Maybe they shake it off. Hopefully they do. But if you're depending on your defense to score you some points, I don't. They're not in a good place. That offensive line is really starting to falter. They've got some guys that are day to day. That Buffalo's going to send the house. Buffalo still has some decent guys in the backfield. In the corner wise. I don't like Cincy right now. I don't like Cincy right now. They looked very shaky to me.
Hey, both games had fat man touchdowns. Who doesn't like to see a fat man touchdown?
A 98-yard one, man. That man was rolling. And I give Mark Andrews deserves some kind of credit. That man hustled down, even though he couldn't do it. No one else showed up. Mark Andrews running down there trying to stop him. I give Baltimore all the credit. Like no one gave him a chance. They hung in there. They need to decide what that quarterback situation is.
Yeah, Baltimore. I was just like, this team. Like, I couldn't fathom how this team was still winning down the stretch of the season because they were just held together by hay and sticks.
It was horrible, and their defense played well. I give credit; those guys play with heart, and those guys want Lamar back. But who knows if it's going to happen? If Lamar plays in that game, I think they win. If it's a healthy Lamar, they win that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just for some reason, since he they just couldn't solve that defense. And like you said, hay and sticks. That defense, some of those guys were nicked up. You saw, guys were coming on and off the field, but they somehow were able to hold that offense down. It was just a bad play call. It really was. That they should have ran that ball. J.K. Dobbins should have had that ball, run it in. But you want your guy stretching over the goal line from like 3-4 yards out. He's not Stretch Armstrong. It wasn't gonna happen. So
you being the loyal Brady follower that you are,
yes.
know a lot about teams shoulda, woulda, coulda, handing the ball to a running back and pounding it in.
Marshawn Lynch, how you doing, boy? Marshawn. Pete Carroll, man, great play calling, man. Great play calling. One of the greatest ever in the Super Bowl. Don't ever deny it. Don't ever deny it.
Speaking of, now you say like as far as defense is looking rough. Cincinnati's definitely did look rough, but Buffalo's also did give up 30 points to a third stringer who, as you said, was missing open guys left and right. So is that at all a knock on Buffalo going into this next round?
Oh, they definitely
do that against Burrow. Burrow's not going to miss those open guys. Now, granted, I know he needs some time, and he didn't get a lot of time against Baltimore, but still.
No. Buffalo definitely has to tighten it up. But I would take Buffalo's front seven over Baltimore's front seven. They're going to scheme it. Their D coordinator, Leslie Frazier, that guy's good.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. They're going to scheme stuff up. The offensive line is it's bad. Their offensive line is almost as bad as that Super Bowl year. And they hay and stick. They hay and stick their way to the Super Bowl, but then Aaron Donald showed up, and that was just the end.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to figure something out. It's gonna be a high-scoring game. I think both teams are gonna give up a ton of points, but I just trust Buffalo a bit more. I trust Josh Allen a little more.
Mm-hmm.
I think those guys have a little something, a little chip on the shoulder, a little something on the inside. They're riding an emotional wave. I don't know.
What chip is bigger, Josh Allen's for the last few years of being oh so close and being disappointed, or Joe Burrow's chip for coming oh so close in the actual Super Bowl?
I'm going to say Josh Allen for the overtime. Burrow tasted it. If Burrow's O-line had held up that towards the end of that game, there's that one play where Chase gets his separation. If he gets half a second more, Burrow's throwing that touchdown, and they win the Super Bowl. Let's be realistic. They win the Super Bowl. Josh he's mad. He's like, this whole overtime thing, a flip of a coin, basically denied him a Super Bowl shot. So no, I think he has it in him that he needs to carry this team. Now that can work against him because in watching him, sometimes he tries to do a little more than he needs to. So it's going to have to be, all right, I got to keep the emotions in check, do what I do, but work within the frame. And I think they'll be all right.
We had a couple comebacks on Wild Card Weekend. One was of pretty epic proportion. The Chargers got out to a massive, I think it was 24-0, massive lead on Jacksonville. And Chargers do what the Chargers do.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unreal.
Let me make sure my numbers were right on that. 20. I see 27-7 at halftime, but I know it was 24-0 at one point. That I know for a fact. And so, what do you take out of this more? Is it just like the curse of the Chargers, or is it a real kind of coming out party for Trevor Lawrence? Like, I know he's only in his second year, but hey, maybe this kid could play overall. Like, because he had a lot of knocks against him in the draft. Like, oh, he's going to be another Andrew Luck. He doesn't want to play football. He's going to do this for like half a year. But like, nah, okay, I'll do something else.
I don't know if Sean Merriman was in his backyard saying, if I couldn't win a Super Bowl, no one else will, doing his dance, in the backyard. Maybe Phillip Rivers was sitting there with a voodoo doll. I don't know. There's no reason you're up that much and you lose. There's just no reason. The first half, that defense was electric. They were causing turnovers. It's like they smelt the blood in the water.
They look like the defense you thought they were going to be all year.
Exactly. In that first half of the year, I was loving those guys. I was like, look at the moves they made. J.C. Jackson, they're bringing these pieces in. They're going to be great. Derwin James is healthy now. And next thing you know, I don't know if, Trevor Lawrence combed his hair in the locker room, did a little something, but next thing you know, they're just putting up points like nobody's business.
Final tally in the second half, 24-3.
Like, I don't know if they told him, hey, Trevor, if we win, we're going to Waffle House. And he got all excited and decided to play. But yeah, that was just, I don't know. I don't know what the Chargers are going to do. I believe they fired their quarterback coach and their offensive coordinator. I believe they have seen the door, but there's a hot seat and then there's an inferno. And Staley is on the inferno.
Yeah.
If they go, let's say like maybe 2-3, 2-4 next season, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. That team has too much talent to have that happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think his leash will be as short can possibly be going into next season.
It's unreal. It's unbelievable what happened in that game, but like we say, it's the NFL, that's why it's the one game you don't know. Anyone can win on any day.
Yeah. that owner's saying, you're not going to let me give you something like a toy like Justin Herbert and doing garbage like this.
Exactly. Because after a while, Herbert's going to be like, hey man, I don't know about this, especially if you keep that guy. Honestly, if I'm Sean Payton, I'm just biding my time.
Yeah.
I'm biding my time.
Just chill back at Fox. Just chill back at Fox for another year. You'll be good.
He's going to sit there, because that's one of the spots they're talking about. They'll say, okay, we'll let, Staley just do his thing. See you later. And here he comes. And if Peyton gets a hold of Herbert, they're going to be dangerous.
He's going to be putting up some serious Drew Brees numbers.
That team is young and they'll be explosive.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if he was on? I mean, I know it never would have happened, but if Shanahan had him.
Yeah, exactly. Think about that. At that point, you're saying, Super Bowls are rolling through San Francisco.
Yeah.
This is the 80s all over again. So, I don't know, man. The Chargers are in a very rough spot right now, but hey, the Jags are having fun right now, but they're going to Arrowhead, and I don't know about that. I'll give them a puncher's chance, though. Yeah. I will give them a puncher's chance because The Chiefs
They're
can put up
balanced.
points.
They're a balanced offense.
They are. The Chiefs can put up points, but they have those moments where it's not the Chiefs of 2-3 years ago. So
yeah, for sure.
it's going to be interesting, that game.
Another comeback, not nearly to the extent of this one, but Seattle did have a lead at halftime. And I don't know why
Seahawks can't do nothing. Can't do nothing. You root for them, and what happened?
Yeah, I don't know whether it was just okay. It's the first playoff game of the weekend. Maybe it was San Francisco's nerves with a lot of pressure going in. I don't know if it's just the fact that they know each other like the back of their hands. But Seattle got out, gave them a little bit of a run. Second half comes. Eventually, the Niners woke up and got back to the Niners we all know they are and ran away with it. So, what out of this did you see from the Niners that signals, okay, this is the team that we think they are going to be in the playoffs?
All right. Like you said, it's a divisional game, right? So, you've played this team, twice, third time's a charm. Who has the edge? No one ever really does. It's kind of even. You know what you're going to get out of each. The Niners did what Cincinnati should have done. If it was close in the first half and then just say, okay, let's play now.
Yeah.
That's what should have happened in Cincinnati. The Niners, I think they're fine. I don't see a weakness on this team. I don't know if Seattle decided to do some yoga at halftime and kumbaya, good times, and then next thing you know, they come out and just shat the bed. Like, I don't know what. Like, I give them all the credit. Like they really shouldn't have been there if you really think about it, because they did get some favorable calls against the Rams that got them in there. But hey, whatever. It is what it is. I'm just bitter because I want to see the Lions, because the Lions are great, man. I love those boys. I digress.
Yeah.
But no, I think the Niners know exactly are where they need to be. They don't fear anybody. Dallas is going to walk in there and unfortunately learn the truth. They're not there yet. And the Niners are going to handle their business. They have too many weapons on offense and defense. They are the most complete team in the league. So,
and mind you, doing it with a third string quarterback.
Exactly. guys, what, 6-0 and just living a life. Brady 2.0, except he was Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
If y'all can't find those Brock Birdie cards, you better get them now. Those things are selling like hotcakes. I'm about to go to Leesburg and go to that card store and see what I can find in the boxes. Chase, if I hit, I'm out.
Better.
I'm going this weekend. I gotta find them cards. It's
that's a Super Bowl MVP in there.
I'll tell you this, man. If they make it, dude, I'm putting that money down. I'm gonna be like that mattress guy in Houston who bets millions upon millions of dollars and somehow wins. I'm gonna be that guy, because I'm telling you, man, the Niners they're complete, man. I don't see anybody beating them.
Yeah, I don't either.
If I had to pick, like I said, I was on the Buffalo, and I'm sticking, I got Buffalo going, but I said I got the Niners winning it all. But that team is scary, and they're young. It's theirs to lose right now. Now, like I said, if Dallas somehow figures out the plan, figures out a scheme, then hey, but I don't see it happening.
There was one more wild card game that happened, and I think this one probably was the one that probably went closest to script. Lot of people, I think us included, questioned whether or not Minnesota could actually pull off a playoff game. Much having the Dallas-itis of years past and historic. Well, I guess not historically, because there was once a time where Dallas actually did consistently win playoff games.
Shout out to Troy Aikman. Jay Novacek.
Yeah, but Minnesota has had that itch for pretty much their entire existence. and certainly lately. And Kirk Cousins has had a lot of that itch as well. And the Giants, much like the Ravens, a team that for most of the season held together by haying sticks.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be my new favorite metaphor, by the way. Now,
You know what? You got to get it. You make a shirt. We're doing shirts next year. Hay and sticks.
Sticks.
Hay and sticks with a football on it. With it, I'm telling you. If we can sell one, I'm all about it. One. Just need one. Please.
And at this point, like, I waited all year for the Giants to come back to reality, and they have yet to do it. And this was probably the one game where I thought this is the one time where I'm not going to be surprised if they do win, because there's just too much agita going against Minnesota every time, every year.
They had what, like 11 games of like one possession wins, like comeback wins. Like everyone just assumed if they get down, they'll just come back and win, and it bit them.
Yeah,
it bit them. On paper, you would have went, as usual, you would have went against the Giants. You were like, all right, Minnesota at home. This is it. This is going to be the statement game. This is where the Giants all of a sudden wake up from the dream, and Minnesota's like, here we are. And lo and behold, Daniel Jones just lighting it up. That boy is going to get paid. He is going to get paid. There was even a Kenny Galladay sighting. Even though I don't think they threw.
I heard that and I thought of you instantly.
All he did was block. I don't think they threw to him once. I saw him on like a couple blocks. I saw him down 5-yard blocks, and that was it.
Hey, you know what? When you have the season Kenny Galladay did, a lot of people are going to get excited over a block.
Yeah, they don't give you fancy points for blocking, buddy. I don't know what that's going down, but it was like Kenny Galladay getting in. They were feeling themselves. They're like, put Kenny in.
Yeah.
But you know what it was? The Giants are just confident in themselves. They know who they are, and they're like, we're just going to do the best what we can. That the scheme was incredible. They couldn't stop Daniel Jones. They couldn't. And, Barkley played well. That defense played great. So I give them a puncher's chance in Philly.
Solid all
It's
around
divisional.
game.
And so at that point, all bets are off. The Giants are going in there saying, you know what? No one even believes we can last by halftime. This almost feels like the 07 Giants. In the sense where, solid defense. The offense was, but the defense carried them. And these guys kind of have that feel where, you know what? No one cares. And they could trip and somehow end up in the Super Bowl. You never know. Like, I don't think they can beat the Niners, but who knows? Let's say the Niners somehow fall. The Cowboys are dancing their way in, and you know what McCarthy does in the brightest of lights. So I at least give the Giants a puncher's chance against Philly. I would pick Philly, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Giants pull it off in some way. Because you still don't know how healthy. You don't know how healthy Hurts is. He's still a little nicked up. So.
Oh yes, yeah. I'm proud of you, by the way, for not twitching when you brought the 07 Giants.
I'm fine with it. It happens. You know what? I've gotten over it. If this was like 7-8 years ago, they still would have had it. But no, it is what it is. Like I said, you have sometimes you just have teams where it's just not meant to be. I would take 7 Super Bowls if I was losing 2 or 3. I'd still take that hardware. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
So I think the Giants have a little something. They've got some magic. I don't know how much magic they have left going into Philly, but I think it's going to be probably one of the more entertaining games.
And I can't even look at the box score and say Cousins didn't perform. He had 3 total touchdowns. He only had 8 incompletions. I mean, obviously he didn't do anything to put him over the top, but I mean, he certainly walked in there and played.
He was adequate.
Yeah.
But he wasn't special when he needed to be.
That's sad when over 30 completions and 3 total touchdowns is just adequate.
If that was his week 5 line, we'd be like, all right, cool, good, yeah. All right. But you're in your one and you're one and done now. So you got to put up 4. You've got to lead that drive.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what they need to get them over the top. That defense is getting older now. Do you try to get it? And what bothered me was they didn't go to Thielen as much as I thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, years past, Thielen was the guy, was pretty much the guy on that offense. It's like now they've totally forgotten about him in a way, and all it is Jay Jettis. That's all it is.
Thielen actually
Hawkinson had a hell of a game, though. I'll give Hawkinson credit.
Hawkins was the man. Actually, Thielen had more yards than Jefferson.
That's because no one cares. There was like 5 guys on Jefferson. They're like, yeah, let Thielen limp around. We don't care.
Yeah.
And the play call at the end of that game is what really got me. You mind you, if Hawkinson was past the first down line, yeah, go to him. It was like he was like 4 yards short. It was like this. It was just a horrible play. I don't know what you were thinking. I say, you know what? If you're gonna ride Jay Jettis, then throw it to him. But run a better play. It was a poor play to begin with. I don't know what they were thinking when they ran it, but I don't know. They're gonna have to figure out that offense in the offseason because I think they really need one more piece. I don't think they trust Thielen anymore. I don't know if he's getting long in the tooth, but they've got to do something. And that defense, they're going to have to shore up some pieces.
Do you think the Giants still just need perfect game plans in order to continue winning? Whether it's this week or if they do win the next week as well? Or is their talent level, are they getting by so much on guile and not talent that they just need a perfect game plan every week?
They're getting by on execution. Let's be realistic here. If you were to look at the remaining teams in the NFC, they may have the least amount of talent. Right? Would we say that?
Yeah.
If you're ranking them 1 through 4, it's 1, 2, 3, and the Giants. If you could use the number 7,
yeah.
Like their talent level is like. But the thing is that the play calling has been great. They're not put in positions to fail. It's like the offense is. It's like, okay, if we're going to get the yards we need. If not, we're going to play smart. We're not going to play stupid. No one's trying to play hero. Danny Dimes is playing within himself. They're actually using his talents. So, no, it's perfect execution. And, yeah, they're going to need that going forward. There's no doubt. They have to be close as perfect as possible. Their defense, can hold up. A couple bounces of the ball here and there. You never know because I think teams may kind of underestimate them a bit. Let's be honest. Philly's gonna be a little rusty. I say that, and they probably, first play of the game, go for like 80 yards down the field, no problem. But I think there's going to be a little rust. I think Jalen is probably still a little nicked up. I haven't really read on him, so I don't know. But from last I heard last week, he was still a little off. So you got to figure that out. The Giants are going in with no fear. They're going in with no fear, and they're like a wounded animal. It's like that's not what you want to play against. They're going to walk in and say, "Here we are. This is what we're going to do," and that's it. It's house money for them now.
Great play calling. What a novel idea. I think both of our teams could have used some of that over the course of the season.
Iron Leftwich. If your team's talking to him, you better run. You better run. He calls plays as well as he was a quarterback for the Jags. You saw how that ended up.
Oh.
Makes Blake Bortles look like an all-pro.
Hey, Blake Bortles could take a hit. I don't know how much else he could do, but that man could take a hit.
He made it to the AFC Championship game. He was a hero once. And we know who ended that one.
Oof. Hi, buddy. Okay, let's talk preview. Divisional round. We'll stay on this Giants-Eagles game. Do the Giants have a chance if Jalen's 100%? Because if I know if Jalen's hurt, because they could have pulled off that game at the end of the season,
right?
If Jalen was 100%. So if Jalen's fully healthy, if getting a little bit of the rust off in that game and getting an extra week to heal up was enough to put him back to 100%, do the Giants still have a shot?
I think they do, and I think it's because it's divisional. I think that plays a lot into it. I really do. You're going to see this team again. You know what you're going to get. You've pretty much seen everything these teams have done. They've seen each other enough. They know what you have. They know what you can do, what you can't do. So I think it's a situation where the Giants aren't going to all of a sudden pull out plays that they haven't run in like a year and okay, the Statue of Liberty and all this other mumbo jumbo. Like, they're not going to do that. They're going to say, this is what we do. This is what got us here. We're going to stick with it. The Eagles, I think, do feel a little bit of pressure because they're like, we need to beat this team. If we don't beat the Giants, it's a disappointment.
Bad. Yeah.
We're the number one seed. Everyone wants the number one seed, but not a lot of teams can handle the number one seed, can handle being it. It's great all during the season. Yeah, we're the number one. And then when you're there, it's like, all right, we haven't played in a week. How did we practice? Were we just too loose? Were we focused? That's where you start to see how these teams go. So you're going to see what the preparation was. I think they'll be prepared. I think Philly will win, but a couple, maybe a fumble here and there. If the game is less than a touchdown in the fourth quarter, all bets are off.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles need to have a statement game because in theory, we're probably both thinking it's going to be Eagles Niners, right?
Let's save the picks till later.
Okay. All right. In theory, that's what I'm thinking it is. That's what I'm thinking it is. So the Eagles are going to have that statement game to show whoever else they play, here we are.
You brought up trick plays before, and Doug Peterson actually tried. He was the author of probably the biggest trick play in postseason history. Not to bring up old wounds.
It's all right. It's all right.
He did try one at the beginning of the game against San Diego. There we go again. I'm just not going to say cities.
Just stick with the names. You're good. Yeah. We're good.
He did try one at the top of the game against the Chargers. It didn't work out very well.
No.
Didn't wind up hurting them in the long haul, of course, as they eventually advanced from that epic comeback. But now they go into Arrowhead. The holes we talked a little bit earlier about the holes on the Chiefs defense. We brought the holes on the Chiefs up multiple times throughout the year. Mm-hmm. Are the holes on the Chiefs the type that Jacksonville could take advantage of?
I think Jacksonville has to play more of a perfect game than the Giants do. And the reason is this is all new to them. It's new to the Giants, but those guys they're veterans. This is, most of these guys are pretty young. This is gonna be a little more for them than they can handle, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, they may turn on a 17-0 run, and next thing you know, no one knows what happens to the Chiefs, and they win. But I don't see that happening. I think Jacksonville has to play a perfect game, but they can't get into the trickery. They can't. Like, if it's a last-ditch play and you got to run it, all right, fine. But, yeah, you can't be pulling that stuff up in the first quarter, Like, if you've got something that's working, then you work it till it doesn't work, Stick with it. Don't change stuff up and get all fancy and stuff like that because that's going to mess them up. And Mahomes will smell that. Reed will smell that blood in the water. And then next thing you know, it's going to be 5 straight passes to Travis Kelce. And the next thing you know, they're down by 21 points.
Yeah, and they got whether it was the poor execution by Staley or just bad Ajita vibes that stink of the Chargers franchise. The Jags got a break by getting into a hole and being able to come back. But I feel this might be an obvious question, but like, can they afford to do this? Whether or not it's legitimate hole or a hole caused by trick plays and weird freak tips, can they afford a similar situation against Kansas City?
No, I don't. I just think that Andy Reid is just a better coach, and he's going to have them prepared. They've been through this. They it's not the first time as the number one seed, so they know what to do. They've got that experience, that preparation. So, of course, there may be a little, maybe a little rust. Like I said, you haven't played somebody except yourself for like a week. So, but no, I think Kansas City will take, their best lick, from the Jags, but no, I don't I don't think it's going to be much of a problem.
Their potential opponent on the other side of the bracket, of course, will be the winner of this finishing act from a few weeks ago after Damar Hamlin's injury, cardiac arrest on the field. He's been doing well. He's been transferred to Buffalo Hospital. I would think if he's discharged before at some point this week, he'll be in the owner's box.
Definitely.
And that obviously will be a ridiculous boost for the Bills. We already talked about it a little bit before. Is this just who can limit mistakes? Because they both have situations. They both have, to me, on offense, they both have two huge question marks. Cincinnati's, of course, is the offensive line, and Buffalo's is their running game. So, like, what is this just going to be like two juggernauts that have similar enough holes that it's just going to be close, and whoever just has the best luck at the end is going to come out on top? Or is there a significant favorite in this?
I think the question is who can rebound best from a mistake? If who can handle self-inflicted wounds the best? And I think Buffalo is set up that way. I think as a whole right now, I just feel they're more complete. Their run game isn't, they don't have a 100-yard rusher, and they know that. But the running backs kind of perform when they need to. Everybody knows that the offense runs through Josh Allen, and that's it. Josh is just gonna make it happen. With Cincinnati, I don't like. Burrow's talent. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I don't know if his supporting cast overall is stronger than Buffalo's. It just seems like Buffalo's guys just have it. It seems like more guys that aren't, A-listers make plays. I just feel that Buffalo, with the past history, especially in the playoffs, I just feel they'll limit their mistakes. Not to say they probably won't have a fumble. Josh will probably throw a pick or something like that because he'll try to do too much.
Yeah, yep.
But I feel they're better equipped to come back from that. I don't know if Cincinnati, especially with that offensive line, if they start sacking Burrow, and everyone knows the history, don't forget Tennessee a couple of years ago, 9 sacks on them. They somehow made it out of the play. They somehow won that game. If that was to happen, I don't think they can win.
Well, to that point, and to tie it together with the rebounding from mistakes, I mean, they did let him get beat up. They let him get sacked 9 times in the Super Bowl, and that was still a one-possession game, right? So, I mean, that's a pretty good example of being able to rebound from a mistake.
It was, but is the Cincinnati team now that is constituted now better than that team that was in the Super Bowl? I think they're almost the same.
I think they're I think they probably are, with just different pieces around. But like the overall image, I think they probably are a comparable team.
I don't think they're that much better. Now, maybe at tight end a little bit, Hayden Hurst, has got a little edge to him. Yeah. But overall, I don't think so. I don't. So I think in a way it kind of hurts them. I don't think they're any better on defense. Maybe their line. I'll give you. Maybe their line's a little better.
I don't think their line could be any worse than last year.
I think their D line. I think their D line might be a little better, a little more athletic. But I think Buffalo is better than they were last year. And I think with the play calling and what they do, they just feel like a more complete team to me. I don't know about Cincinnati. They have not had that one game where I'm like, yep, there you go. That's it. That's it. That's the team. Because I feel Buffalo, if they fall behind, they can come back. I don't know if Cincinnati has that. I know Burrow has it, but I don't know if the other pieces and the play calling works that way. So no, it's going to be a high scoring game. I wouldn't be surprised if the game's in the high 30s.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I
I
wouldn't
think
either.
Buffalo has just enough
Because
to put them over
I
the edge.
certainly think if it gets down to the end of it, the defenses are probably just going to go bend don't break,
Mm-hmm.
and just exchange points for points for clock and hope somebody makes a mistake.
Yeah, and they both have a great kicking game, so it could come down to that.
Yep.
It very well could come down to the kicking game. And
Emac versus the Bass.
exactly. And everyone knows how windy it gets there in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Play a nice mild winter day. You never know.
yeah, mild. What? 28? Mild 28.
Yeah. Aha. Aha. That's why we moved south, my friend.
Yep. That's why we said good luck with that. No, I'm good. It's 55 down here, and I'm like, dang, man, it's cold.
Same. 55.
I'm telling you, man, the blood thins, and you're like, I remember when I'd be walking around in a t-shirt and shorts, loving life.
Yep.
Now I'm like, yo, man, I gotta get a parka on. I'm like, I feel like I'm letting myself and my people down. You know, I'm like, wow, I can't tell anybody back home I'm cold.
They can sit there and deny that they're miserable all they want. I'm not letting shit down.
I'm fine. I'm okay. How cold is it? 57.
Yeah.
Horrible, man. It's horrible.
Oh, flipping over to the NFC. We already touched on it a little bit. Granted, I set it up as a little bit of a hypothetical for if Hurts is 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But let's look at it as much knowing what we know right this second.
Okay.
Whatever condition Hurts is in.
Mm-hmm.
Giants, Eagles, what do we got?
I would love to see the Giants just be that little engine that could. And I think it's going to be a competitive game. But I think the Eagles will have just enough to beat them. I really do. I think short of a turnover late in the game, I think the Eagles should come out on top. I think they should. I think it's going to be a close game. It's not going to be a pushover by any stretch, but I think the Eagles will pull it out.
I feel like a late game scenario like that, whether it's a turnover or just some bonehead play or stupid penalty or whatever the case may be, I think that might be the thing that the Giants have to watch out for, because like you said, they're a perfect execution team, and I really do think the Giants can win this game. I'll pick the Giants.
Okay. No, I give them a puncher's chance. But yeah,
at this point, I'm tired of waiting for them to fall apart, because at this point, I'm just convinced they're not gonna.
Oh, so you're the jinx. You are the one who ends the Giants season.
Probably.
Congratulations, Chase.
Probably.
Chase is like misery for everybody. No, it's true, but it's that. Are they going to try is someone going to try to do too much? That's the whole thing. Play within the framework of the offense. Is someone going to try to maybe stretch for an extra couple of yards when they should just hit the turf and cause a fumble? So when a fumble gets caused, it's going to be one of those plays. And, the effort's there and you appreciate it, but there needs to be that, okay, we'll get that yard. I got the first down. I get nothing too much, because it's going to be a peanut punch or something that's going to flip the game.
All right, finally, of course, put any disappointment from last night aside. Does Dallas stand any chance at all against San Francisco? or if you want to think of it this way, what does Dallas need to happen in order to stand a chance against San Francisco?
Joe Montana to come out of retirement and play.
I was going to say, go down to a 4-string quarterback.
Roger Craig, maybe. No. All right. No, honestly. Of course, putting last night's game aside, totally. I can see Dallas scoring some points. I'm not going to say they're going to get shut out or it's going to be, this mollywop. But I feel.
But I don't think it will.
I just don't think Dallas matches up offensively well with the Niners. The Niners have too many pieces. That offense is just run smooth. There's been no hiccups, no anything. If someone gets hurt, someone else just steps on in. Here you go. Look at it. They're in a third string quarterback. There you go. Debo gets hurt. Doesn't matter. You got Ayuk and everybody else. Got Kittle. Like, really look at that offense.
Back from the dead.
Exactly. All of a sudden, scoring touchdowns again. He was like a forgotten man. And now look, you have all this offense, and it's like, who do you stop? Now, Dallas, man for man, may have the pieces, but I don't know if for 60 minutes. I don't know. They're going to neutralize Micah Parsons, I believe, because he's the guy who makes that defense run. Let's be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas's front is what allows that secondary to be successful, especially Trayvon Diggs. But he's an all or nothing guy. Yeah. He'll get his picks, but he'll also give up the 60-yard touchdown too.
Yeah, he's like the new Josh Norman.
Exactly. It's all or nothing. So they need to kind of calm it down and play within the frame of their defense. If they start trying to make plays and this and that, freestyling, before you know it, yeah, the Niners will be up by 2 scores. I just don't think they match up well with that offense, and I think that's why the Niners are going to win. You know, Dak will probably go 3 touchdowns, maybe 2 picks. You know, because everyone's going to be like, oh, 5-touchdown Dak, he's here. Nope, I think he'll probably, maybe a fumble. Bosa will probably get to him. That Niners D-line is ridiculous. Their linebacking core is incredible. Fred Warner and those guys.
Warner's, he doesn't even look like a linebacker. He's just fast.
Exactly. I don't think he gets the respect that he should. Let's be realistic. That defense is just too much. That offense is too much. I think they'll probably win by 2 scores. At the end of the game at that point, garbage time or whatever. But yeah, I think the Niners are just too strong.
What do you think that 3-touchdown, 2-interception line from Dak? What fashion do you think that's going to come in? Do you think it's going to be very close and them going tit for tat early and he makes mistakes?
It'll probably be like it'll be a tip ball. It'll probably be like one of them will for sure be a tip ball. Something probably maybe off the hands of Lamb or something like that. Dak putting the ball in, because let's be honest, those receivers were okay last night. They weren't great. Had some butter hands. The second pick would probably be something where Dak is going to try to be a hero, and it's not a good move because he's proven that he's done that.
Yeah.
And that's how I'll get the second pick. They're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to run the ball. Their run game has been non-existent these last couple weeks. They've got to run the ball.
Well, freak play was kind of that what I was thinking alternative. I was thinking they were going to get off to a horrid start, and he was going to have to rush to get back and pick up touchdowns in garbage time.
No, it wouldn't surprise me if they score the first touchdown. And then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, here we are. And then all of a sudden, yep. And then all of a sudden Shanahan says, okay, puts the hands together. 10 minutes later, it's like 14-7, just like that.
McCaffrey just chipping away with 7 yards here, 5 yards there, 8 yards here.
They have nothing to prove. The Niners are going to say, okay, they're coming to our house. We're all right. We're fine. They're gonna be okay. It's McCarthy. McCarthy has a history of bad play call. It's just it's the history. Look at Green Bay.
Yeah.
So, and I think some people are like, wow, is he playing for his job? Because don't forget, once early in the season, everyone's like, oh, Sean Payton wants to go to Dallas. They want, Jerry Jones wants Payton, McCarthy, dead man walking. And now they're all going to rally around him and this and that. And no, I'm sorry, the Niners are going to handle it.
That might have been the first time you gave Aaron Rodgers a pass.
Oh, my boy, Aaron. He's got Aaron.
All right, so we're in agreement on the Chiefs. We're in agreement on the Niners. We're different on the other two.
Yes.
So you've got Chiefs and Bills. This is, I believe, would be in Atlanta.
Yes. It's going to be in a neutral site. So
what do you got? Who do you have representing the AFC in the Super Bowl between a potential?
Wow.
This is strictly hypothetical, everyone. A potential Chiefs-Bills matchup. Who do you have representing the AFC?
Wow. All right. It's a neutral site. Oof. Right, and you're asking me right this very second. I give a slight edge to Kansas City. They've been there before. There's a lot of emotion with Buffalo, and I understand. And they're just they're doing what they do. But right now, Mahomes is just on another level.
Mm.
Mahomes right now. I don't know if Buffalo. I don't know if Buffalo has it this year to stop them. I think if their secondary was a little stronger, I'd say yes. But it's when Mahomes breaks out, and I don't know if Buffalo has it yet. Now, mind you, it's like we said, neutral site. If it was in Kansas City, nope, I'm taking there. There would be no hesitation.
Yeah,
it's a neutral site. I think it's going to come down to a last minute fumble or something like that. But right now, I would take Kansas City.
I think I'm not going to disagree with you on the eventual outcome. I mean, I'm a little bit more higher on the Bengals than the Bills, but based on to your points that you said before and everything we tossed back and forth offline as well, Cincinnati, based on what they look like against the Ravens, even if they were to somehow get by Buffalo, I don't think they're getting by Kansas City whatsoever.
No, and everyone is going to look to the game because they've had the Chiefs number. Let's be realistic. They have had the Chiefs number, but I think the Chiefs kind of have a bad taste in their mouth, especially when it comes to Cincinnati, and they're going to pull out some stuff.
Yeah.
They're the one team that could literally just draw up a play in the sand right then and there, and it works to perfection. The only team in the league that can do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think right now I'm taking the Chiefs.
All right, NFC time. A potential, completely hypothetical Niners-Eagles slate for you. Who's representing the NFC?
I think it's going to be a fun game, but the Niners,
yeah.
And it's not like I think the Eagles are a bad team. They're not, but the Niners are just so good. Like, you just watch them, and it's like they're good.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, wow.
They're the hay and sticks that actually works.
It's seriously it's like the Three Little Pigs, except that house didn't blow down. And you watch the plays, and like you rewind it and you watch it, and you're like, how, what, like, they're just good, and they're just good to watch. I'm taking Niners, no questions asked.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to differ one bit. I mean, I do think the Giants will somehow figure out a way to get past the Eagles, but I think at that point the dream ride finally comes to an end, because as good as they are, even with a perfect game, I don't think they stand a damn bit of chance.
I don't think defensively they have enough parts to stop that.
No,
I just don't, because I think Shanahan has like 5 different playbooks depending on who he plays. I think he draws up playbooks for each team and just pulls them off and says, okay, here we go. I ran this last week, but I'm not even touching that. Here we go.
He's a sick mind enough to do something like that too.
Exactly. Like in the offseason, he just draws up playbooks for fun.
Yeah.
And the offense is just so smooth. It's ridiculous. So nope. I got Niners right now. Niners Chiefs.
Yeah. That's gonna be a hell of a Super Bowl. The rematch. It's a rematch.
Points aplenty. Except no Garoppolo. Mister, I want to throw picks when it counts.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's going to get his ring.
That's right. If they pull it off, he's going to get his ring anyway.
He's going to get his ring, get his shoulder fixed, and move on. He's going to be like, thanks, San Fran. It was good times.
He's going to be like Bledsoe. This is literally the mirror track.
That's so bad. That's horrible. Leave Drew alone. It's not his fault.
Hey, I'm not hating on him. He got it. That's a ring's a ring.
He beat Pittsburgh.
That's right.
He beat Pittsburgh. David Patton, baby.
Poor Drew.
Man.
I wasn't gonna set us up to pick the Super Bowl, but I guess we kind of did.
But you know what? Here's the thing. This is the fun part. This is what we're saying. We watch these games. These games could go totally different to what we think, and then my pick may change.
Yeah.
I'm like 98.9% on the Niners, but if they look like trash and somehow barely make it, I might be like, whoa.
Yeah, and who knows? Or what if Jacksonville's just this wonder kid?
What if it was Jacksonville and the Giants?
Oh God,
the most unwatched Super Bowl of all time.
Roger Goodell will shit his pants.
The only people who are watching that are people in the Northeast and Florida. And no, only in Jacksonville, because Miami isn't watching it. Tampa ain't watching that.
Yeah.
We're out mowing lawns. We don't care.
Mowing lawns in February. What a concept.
I'm going to be sitting there. I'm like, when are the commercials on? Coming out of my cave just to watch commercials. That's it. I don't want to pick squares. No, I know nothing.
Okay, random question. Who does the Panhandle belong to? Or is it just open season up there?
I think it's almost open season. It's one of those things where it's like Connecticut. Who do you take? Do you take the North? Do you take the where? Depending where you are in Connecticut. Are you North? Do you take the North? Do you take Mass? Do you take New York? It's one of those things. So yeah, you kind of just roll the dice, pick what you want.
And actually, the Panhandle has a wild card too, because in theory, it goes far enough west where it could get into New Orleans territory.
Yeah, so I think you probably do get some New Orleans there once you just get in. So yeah, I think you kind of get a crapshoot there. But then once you start going down, then it's like, whatever. Jacksonville and the Giants, baby. I'll bet on that game.
T-Law and Danny Dimes for NFL supremacy.
I will buy a Danny Dimes Super Bowl jersey. I would. Danny Dimes all the way. And once they get shellacked, and I'm like, wow, we just jinxed them. We always pick that one, and they just get him just shellacked, and we're like, sorry.
We gotta find one of those sketchy links that we used to have back in the day where we find the stitched jerseys. So you can buy Danny Dimes Super Bowl 56? 7.
Yes, I believe so.
57.
Yeah.
So you can have Danny Dimes
backwards.
And all of Trevor Lawrence Super Bowl 57.
There we go. For like $5.99.
Yeah.
It somehow snuck through customs and got to my house. Because those suckers pulled out like nobody's business. But
that shit better be in my house like 5 days ahead of time, because I'm gonna have to let that shit air out in the wind, blow all the COVID off of it, because who knows what country.
Oh my God. No. You're gonna wear that to every brewery in Carolina. What you doing, buddy? You'll be doing all your videos in that bad boy.
I won't wear it. I just wanted to air out all the. Yeah.
You want to kill the birds in the area?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Avian flu from Trevor Lawrence stitched Super Bowl jersey.
Good Lord. Telling you, man, it'd be the greatest Super Bowl ever. Most watched.
Oh, what a way to wrap up the show.
There it is, folks.
Of course, there's one question we have to ask.
Yes.
You've been on the record as saying he's not coming back. So, final thought now, as we're not going to see any more games from number 12 this season. Yeah. A, is he coming back or not? And B, if he does, where's he going?
Wow.
And this will be the final Tom Brady question until we get past the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what you say now. Then all of a sudden, some news comes out and then we're talking. There's never enough Tom Brady news. Never. That man is your lives. Understand that? No. Okay. I think he plays. Okay, the man was second in the league in yards. Now, mind you, the man threw more pass attempts than anyone, 45 years old. That shouldn't have happened. So for everybody who was dumping on him, you got a 45-year-old man throwing like 60 passes a game. It's not supposed to be that way, okay?
More than Justin Herbert, more than Jalen Hurts.
Let's be realistic here. And everyone's like, oh, man, he's falling off the cliff, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, he shouldn't be throwing the ball that much. But he had no choice. So I think he is the ultimate competitor. I don't think he wants to leave this way. I think the 8-9 record left an extremely sour taste. So no, I do believe he comes back for one more shot. I think he sits there and says, if I come back, this has got to be it. Like, I need to find the situation. I think if they had gone on some magical run and lost in the Super Bowl, he would have been fine with that, because he would have said, all right, you know what? Here it is. I can't go. This is it. I've done it.
I squeezed all the milk I can out of that rock.
Exactly. There aren't any more trophies that I can get. This is it. So I think he comes back. Do I think he comes back to Tampa? No. The only way he comes back to Tampa is if they really – first of all, Leftwich has got to go. That offensive play call is hideous. The offensive line needs to be retooled. Now, mind you, those guys will be healthy next year, but, that offensive line is horrible. It really is. It was great to see Jensen back last night. He played well, but, they've got some spots they need to shore up. Offensively, they've got the pieces. Like wide receiver wise, they're good.
Yeah, they have weapons.
Tight end wise, because everyone's starting to kind of whisper, because teams had reached out to Gronk about coming back this year, and Gronk had said, he was thinking maybe next year. So let's say he's like, hey, Tom, where are you going?
Gronk's the new Favre.
Very
retire, come back. Retire, come back.
And why not go where you're most comfortable or what you know? And that's going to be the Raiders because of Josh McDaniel. Josh is going to pull out those New England playbooks, change some stuff up. I think the Raiders make sense. They've got their defense is good. They've got a really good defense. They've got the pieces on offense. You add Gronk to Waller. Waller doesn't have to block. You send those two guys out, do whatever. You got Devontae Adams. Renfro is Edelman 2.0. There you go. I could see him going to the Raiders. People were saying, "Oh, what about New England?" I don't think he's going back. I wouldn't go back. Now, if I go back, I'm telling Kraft, this is what I want. If you can't give me this, I'm not coming back. And then you find out who really runs the show. Was it Bill or was it Tom? So, no, I would say the Raiders. People were saying San Fran. If San Fran wins a Super Bowl, Tom isn't going there. You've got the new king of the NFL there in Brock. Everyone's going to be wearing Brock jerseys, and he's going to be the new flavor of the month.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, he wouldn't. I know San Fran is not it. Now, everyone's saying Miami. There could be some Miami situation. They've got some pieces, but if you're telling me built to win today, I think the Raiders are built a little better.
I feel like it does have to be somebody that can legitimately win the Super Bowl next year, because part of me almost feels like that first year in Tampa, they win the Super Bowl. Like that was his moment to have that Strahan, Ray Lewis moment, Jerome Bettis moment, where Peyton Manning win the Super Bowl, say bye. And he obviously missed that chance. They had that hugely emotional letdown of a win against the Rams last year, and then the way this season ended. And Tom Brady does deserve that kind of exit. And now it's looking like he missed that chance.
I think he still has it. Like, let's say he was to come out and say, you know what, this is the last year. This is truly it. Fox is waiting for me. This is it. And let's say he goes to a team and it's like a second round bow out, but he gets to do the victory tour in theory, kind of like what he did this year, like with the San Fran game. Like after the San Fran shellacked them, those players, you would have thought they met Elvis. They were like, yo, man, like if you watch the post game, like on the field, he was signing footballs for those guys. Those guys were like, I watched you and this and that. They were like appreciative of him.
And that was my next question. Do you think he wants that? Do you think he wants the tour, or do you think he just wants to have the Irish goodbye where nobody knows? Because he kind of had that robbed a little bit last year. Then the story got leaked, and then he went up, you know what? I don't want this. I'm coming back.
I think if he knew it was his last season, he would want it. He'd be like, all right, cool, thanks. Yeah, I'm going to take it in a little differently because this is the last time I'm going to be at this stadium. This is the last time I'm going to do this. But with him, he feels he can play. It's not the end. He doesn't want to be told it's the end. Regardless of what the outcome is, he wants to leave on his own. And for people now that are telling him, hang it up, Tom, can't win with Tom. You watched ESPN. There were guys like, the guys on NFL saying, you can't win with Tom Brady now. I don't think that's the case. I think, yeah, he's 45 years old. There's no doubt about it. He shouldn't be throwing the ball 60 times. If he had a run game, I think some things would have been different. But he didn't. But everyone sees Tom as prime Tom. And he's not there anymore. He's still a top 10 quarterback in my mind. He's on the back end of the 10. He's not in that front 5. No. If you told me he was the 9th, not 8 or 8 to 10, I would take that. Because what he does, he still gets the ball out within 2.5 seconds tops. He's unbelievable at it. He still adds to that team, but he needs more support. So, no, I think he would take that, victory tour if he knew he was leaving. But he doesn't want to be told, I'm leaving. No one wants to get pushed out of the league. Let's be realistic. They're athletes. No one wants to be told, oh, you're old, you're done. He wants to do it on his own. And, yeah, in a perfect world, it would have been that year in Tampa. But he was still at that level.
I don't know if he's going to get that opportunity because I think people are never going to stop. At this stage of the game, I don't think people are going to stop saying, Tom, you're done. Tom, you're done.
But you also know when they were doing that to him in his late 30s and such, he turned it up. So I think he may have that last, okay, I'm going to get the last laugh. So this would be he would look for the perfect scenario to give the people the good old, So I think he looks to see if there's a team that fits exactly what he needs to get that last run. If he goes to the Raiders and only has to throw the ball 25 times a game, he's fine with that because those throws are going to be key throws. He doesn't have to lead the league in passing anymore. He owns every damn record. He doesn't need anything. No one's touching that stuff. Everyone's like, oh, Mahomes. And even Mahomes kind of knows he's going to have to play for another 15 years.
Yeah.
To even sniff it. Like, let's be realistic.
Well, he's certainly getting paid to play for another 15 years.
He better play till he's 55. Let's be realistic here. Those records are going to stand. That's not it. If he's only got to throw the ball 20, 25 times, but he's throwing 3 touchdowns a game, he doesn't care. Then that's it. And you know what? God forbid that man gets ring number 8. I'm going to tell you now, people are going to be bitter and angry, and I'm going to walk around I'm going to tattoo a smile on my face and on my rear and be like, kiss it. That's it.
What if ring number 8 is with the gangrene, Jets, Jets?
Oh, that's not going to happen. The Jets come on, man. Come on. The Jets had a delusional season this year. Let's be real. Sauce Gardner's going to be gone in 3 years. He's going to want to leave. Who knows who their quarterback's going to be? We don't even know.
Well, that's why the situation's open because they don't know who their quarterback's going to be.
I wouldn't want to go there. Come on, man. I know someone who would cry if he went there. And you know him too.
I do.
You know what I would do? I would drive to his house with that Brady green jersey and be like, wear it. Let's see where your fandom is now. Wear it. If Brady wins a Super Bowl with the Jets, do you think he would recognize it? Do you think Heisberger would recognize it?
Name drop.
Hi, I miss you. Do you think he would recognize it? I don't think so.
I honestly.
No, he might. He might be like, I'm done. I just need a ring. Certain people, as they get older, just like, give me the ring.
I think any Jets fan over the age of 50. No, I think any Jets fan over the age of 62 will take that ring, and Tom Brady will be their new best friend, and they're not going to listen to anyone trying to call them out, tell them they're a bandwagon or a traitor or anything like that.
He won't be your best friend. He'll tolerate him. He's the guy he's that neighbor who you'll invite to Thanksgiving, but he'll have to sit at the kid table.
Yeah. But anyone under the age of 50,
they're like cool.
I could legitimately see them burning all their green jerseys and walking away.
That's
and
true.
they're going to feel real stupid if that's their Super Bowl.
I'm like, I would buy the jersey. I don't know if I'd wear it. I don't
just
know
have
if
it
I'd
displayed in the corner of the living room every game.
it's gonna be in the corner of the closet behind the other jerseys, and I'll be like, yeah, he was there. And that's it. I don't know. If you made if you made the Super Bowl, I would wear it. I would wear it.
That's all I was gonna say. There will only be one game.
I would wear it. I would wear it. I guess. If they're playing the Bucks, though, I couldn't wear it. I'd be like, no, man, I can't do it. I don't know.
So
I don't know. It's a question now I've got to ponder for like the next week and a half. Like, it's going to happen, but
so Derek Carr on the Bucks would get your loyalty over Tom Brady and Jets.
Dude, man, you know what? Derek Carr needs to get some love. Y'all need to stop. Derek Carr's good.
I didn't hate on him.
They should sign him. I think he's good. I think he's got it.
I'll take him
in the pocket. He can extend some plays a little bit. He would help that offense. But yeah, if you're telling me Derek Carr the Bucks and Tom Brady of the Jets, like that's dirty. I'm gonna go brush my teeth after this because I said that. Yeah, I got to root for Derek Carr. Like a piece of me will be like, Tom, I hope you have a good game. But no, man, Derek Carr, man.
Can't root for that green.
Derek Carr, they did you dirty at the Raiders. Get your respect. Get your respect.
Wow. We found the one scenario to make you not root for Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's it. You know, like if he won, I'd be like, you know, Tom, as a fan of Tom, I'd be like, yo, man, great job, man. But I can't do that, man. I can't. That's wrong. I can't.
7 rings plus 1 phantom.
Can't do that. Can't do that. 7 plus the what if. The what if ring. But no, I think honestly, you know, I think that if it's a perfect situation, he comes back. But it's got to be what he wants. And he may tell whatever these because there's, like they said there's three teams that have reached out, mystery teams that will reach out and talk to him. If he gets what he wants and it's a good O-line and solid pieces around him, he'll give it another go because the guy just loves to play. Let's be realistic. The man will play till he doesn't want to play. I don't think he said 45 was it. And I don't know, man. I think maybe 46, maybe 47 is where we cut it. But I think he gives it one go. One go. Raiders would be first for me. Dolphins 2. And then there's going to be a wild card team. I don't see him coming back to Tampa. It'd be nice to be wrong and they fix everything. Maybe Gronk comes back and, you know, we run it back one more time and then he sails off and, you know, goes on Fox and just runs the show, gets rid of, you know, Greg Olson because he's Tom's like, it's my house. This is what we do now. And the clock to the Hall of Fame is on. And I'm like, all right, let's go.
Got to put away, what was it, $100 every year?
I'm selling something. I'm selling a kidney, whatever, man. I'm going. And anyone who's watching, I'm going to be that blubbering guy. Oh my God. I'm going to cry. And that's it. My wife knows. She goes, yep, you're going to be that fool crying. I said, yes, I will. It's like, I don't have to watch it anymore. I'll be done. I'm like, NFL, it's done. I'm good. No more. Good.
Oh. All right.
You know it's over when the Pro Bowl has flag football.
Yeah. That's right.
You know the apocalypse is upon us.
Flag football coached by the Manning brothers.
Whatever, man. XFL starting in February. Get ready for it. Ben DiNucci. I think we got to do XFL shows. Ben DiNucci.
He got signed, didn't he?
Yeah, he's playing for Seattle.
That's right.
Should have been the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Ben DiNucci, more talent than Dak. I go on record and say that.
On that note, an hour of football talk, 20 minutes of Brady and blabber.
That's it. Brady. Number 1 in the books, number 1 in your hearts.
Peace out, YouTube and football world. Great show. We'll see you next time.